Good evening, everyone. Just like to introduce Renee Hardman. She's a candidate for Senate District 16, and which covers West Des Moines, Windsor Heights, and I believe part of Clive too. And we're gonna ask Renee to give us a brief on herself and her campaign, and we'll ask her a couple of questions, and we'll wrap it up in the last minute or two. And with that, Renee, I'm going to give the floor to you for the next 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and good evening, everyone. I want to thank you so very much for this time, but I'm going to rush into who I am so that I can use the time wisely. I'm Renee Hardman. I am a candidate for Senate District 16 that covers the areas of West Des Moines, Windsor Heights, and Clive. And there is a precinct in Dallas County. I have been elected 3 times to be a West Des Moines City Council person. The last 2 terms I ran unopposed. And I have been a person that has immersed myself immensely in the city of West Des Moines. I chair public safety. I'm on the Human Rights Commission. I was on the board of the Chamber of West Des Moines, the library, and the Human Rights Commission. And so those were some of the committees that I got to spend a lot of time with as it relates to working with citizens about issues that relate to those areas. And again, I've been 8-year chair of public safety. I am currently mayor pro tem. I've been mayor pro tem twice. And so I have a proven track record of one that gets things done in West Des Moines. Some of the kinds of things that I championed in West Des Moines was trying to do more on affordable housing, citizens engagement, and truly trying to make sure that property taxes are reasonable and that we have strategic growth that can support the reductions that we made almost each year in property taxes. When my friend Claire Celsi died on October the 6th, it was a shocker to me. And she was a friend of mine. She was my previous campaign manager. And she really kind of taught me to really door knock and work with constituents. So when she died, I decided to take my service to that next level and, competed against 4 others to win the nomination. I am a friend of the coalition. I have been for a long, long time, supporting the work that they do and trying to lift up their voice and some of the kinds of things that they did. Even when I wasn't at the legislature up there, I supported the legislative breakfast because I think it was a great opportunity to make sure that, voices are heard and people come together. So I am a candidate that is working to try to prevent a supermajority. I know this is a nonpartisan body, but I do think there needs to be a balance in government. I am running for working class families. I am a major supporter of strengthening education. Taxpayer dollars should be used for public schools, period, unequivocally. And I'm here to be the voice for all people and to work on behalf of 3 million Iowans. I know that I have a district, but decisions that I make impact all Iowans. So, been in Des Moines since 1979, came to attend Drake University, loved Iowa, so I stayed, and have served on 21 nonprofit boards that really work toward lifting up families and children and young people. And I've been a CEO of several nonprofits and currently a president and CEO of LSI, probably the 6th or 7th largest nonprofit in the state of Iowa. And we work with immigrant and refugees and foster care, adoptive care, global greens, mental health, and early childhood. Those are some of our service lines. So I'm going to be sensitive to time, Mitch, and
Yep.
I'll be happy, and I can stay past 6:15 to answer any questions, but
No,
that's a little bit about me.
If we go past 6:15, I promise you it won't be more than a minute.
Okay.
So yeah, let me ask 2 questions. Let me start off. It was actually, and we take all our questions from the questionnaire. So we'll take the last question from the questionnaire when we talk about property tax reform, because we know that will probably be the number one issue, at least to start the session in January for discussion. And of course, as being on the West Des Moines City Council, you've had to deal with this issue for the last 8 years. And so just kind of elaborate. I mean, where are
Yeah.
you with property tax reform? How far are you willing to go or not go?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
governors made
Well,
several
well,
statements here in the last
y-
several months.
yeah. Well, there is a concept, um, Mitch, that's called home rule. And home rule is a concept that allows municipalities to really kind of govern how they do business. And the legislative session this year, I think, has forgotten what home rule is. They are making more regulations and laws and things that hamper municipalities with dealing with things like property taxes. We have dealt with the legislature making decisions on what we can do with property taxes, how much we can low, how high we can go, squeezing and squeezing as much out of municipalities as we possibly can. I personally believe that we need to address it. I think that the legislature needs to honor what home rule is and allow municipalities to do what they can. And some of the things that have been passed as it relates to this has created such a heartburn for so many municipalities of how they're going to squeeze um, a nickel out of a turnip to make things go and still keep services that they have. So I'm a proponent in letting municipalities do the work. They're the most local in their communities and making decisions and letting home rule be what home rule is supposed to do.
Well, thank you, Renee. Okay,
Yeah.
second questions. This is under workers' rights. The federal minimum wage has been $7.25 for the last 16 years since 2009, and of course, the state minimum wage is at the same since 2009. Do you support enacting a $20 or higher or lower minimum wage? Because we still have workers, like work in the service industry,
Mm-hmm.
who make a very low wage, and they have to
Yeah.
survive on tips, in other industries too. I mean,
Right.
so where are you at with the minimum wage? Would you support a higher minimum wage? And
Yeah.
if you do support a higher, how much higher?
Yeah. Um, as a person that was raised by a single mom in inner city Chicago area who worked two jobs, all that I can remember. She worked a job, full-time job, and she had a part-time job because she wanted to raise three daughters and provide. And I watched my mother each and every day work these jobs to try to make ends meet. And that's where my fortitude of hard work has come from, because I watched her work two jobs 4 days a week. And so it was never enough. The minimum wage wasn't enough, and it was never enough, but we survived. So I am a proponent of evaluating that and trying to increase the livable wage and really try to move the needle. I don't know what the final threshold is, but we know that people cannot survive off the minimum wage here. We know that people, I was at a function today, and a lady at the food bank says that they have given out more food in the last 3 to 4 months than they have probably done in 2 to 3 years because people don't have the money. And these are folks that are working to be able to feed their families. So I believe that the minimum wage should grow. I don't know that I have a threshold at this moment, but I'd love to see it north of 15 to 16, $17 an hour.
Thank you, Renee. We're going to kind of close it out now, but I want to make just a few statements first. I want to mention Renee. She's been a member of our coalition since day one, since January 2021, the Iowa Unity Coalition. And also, we've endorsed Renee twice. We endorsed you during that first year back in 2021 in your first reelection for West Des Moines City Council, and this
Thank you.
earlier this year back in March or April, we endorsed you again. So we're
Mhm.
very familiar with you, and we appreciate your support, especially with our legislative breakfast over the last several years here. But
Mhm.
with that, I'm going to give you like 2 minutes to kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here. Some of people I know, I see Jackie here, and I want to say that I'm going to be that candidate that is going to work for and elevate and advocate on behalf of working class families because I came from one. And I know what that feels like, and I know what that's like, and I know what the need is. My motto is to listen, learn, and lead. And that means I've got to listen, I've got to learn, and I've got to lead. And I'm also going to be a candidate, and I'm just going to share this with you because I've done it in city council. I'm going to be a candidate that's going to listen to people on the other side of the aisle. And I'm going to try to use my art of persuasion in every place I plant myself. I might be naive, but I'm going to have to do that. I had to do that for 8 years in city council. We have people that are Republicans and independents, and I can't get anything done with one vote. So I've got to be able to articulate and have conversations with people that don't share my political ideology. And I got to understand what their perspective is and see where we can meet in the middle. I was at breakfast this morning with a lot of nonprofit leaders. And who was there? The former lieutenant governor. He came to me, congratulated me on my run. And I said, I know that we see things from sometimes a different vantage point, but I want you to know that I'm going to work with other people on the other side. And he said he knew that about me. And he even said, Renee, I don't know whether you'll take me up on it, but I'd love to just have a conversation with you and, just to talk about, your goals and aspirations and give you some advice of how challenging things can be. And I'm going to take him up on it. I'm going to take him up on it because I need to hear, I need to listen. And so that's just how I am. I'm not going to build walls. I'm going to try to break down walls. And I'm going to try to persuade, but you can't persuade if you've got the walls built up. So that's a little bit more that I'd like to share and conclude. I and
Well,
regardless of whatever happens, I'm going to always support the Iowa Unity Coalition because I believe in what you do, and so I will continue to do that because it's an organization that I think is lifting up good people that can advance the better welfare of families here in this state. And so I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that movement.